Welcome and a very good evening to all. It is a privilege to welcome our first speaker of this evening, Dr. Aniket Sule, who is going to be speaking on the theme of holistic and multidisciplinary education. Dr. Aniket Sule is a faculty member at the Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education, HPCSE, part of the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in Mumbai. His interests span a wide range of topics related to education, including astronomy talent nurture programs, the history of astronomy in India, the promotion of scientific temper within society, physics and mathematics education and research, astronomy education and research, and astrophysics. Dr. Sule is particularly recognized for his specialization in solar astrophysics and his passion for promoting excellence in the field. He has been instrumental in leading India's participation in the International Astronomy Olympiad, guiding Indian teams to consistently impressive performances with a remarkable record of bringing home numerous medals. Currently, Dr. Sule serves as the president of the International Olympiad on Astronomy and Astrophysics, IOAA, having previously held the role of General Secretary of the same organization from 2017 to 2022. In addition to these roles, Dr. Sule chairs the National Astronomy Education Coordinators Group and co-chairs the International Astronomical Union Working Group on Professional Amateur Collaboration. He is also the deputy manager of the newly established IAU Office of Astronomy for Education Center in India. The center owes much of its establishment to Dr. Sule's enthusiastic efforts in collaboration with institutions such as the Inter-University Center for Astronomy and Astrophysics, IUCA, and the National Center for Radio Astrophysics, NCRA. Thanks for joining us today, Professor Sule. I'll request you to share your knowledge and views on the topic of holistic and multidisciplinary education with us.
Thanks for that very kind introduction. So yes, we are going to just do a brief overview of what is meant as multidisciplinary holistic education under the NEP. So if you ask in short, in simple words, what is multidisciplinary education? So I would say something like this, that a student should be able to learn things that interest him or her. Like there should not be any hard boundaries. Science, arts, commerce, engineering, law, tourism, management, design. Right now, in our system, there are different colleges for many of these things. Science college is different, arts college is different, engineering college is very different, law colleges don't teach anything else. Tourism, there are separate institutes, management has separate institutes, and so on. But in principle, any student may have more than one interest. While doing a BSc in physics, I may want to take a course on archaeology. Or while doing MBBS, I may want to take a course on philosophy. Or while doing BA in economics, I want to do a course on astronomy. Why should we prevent that? So that is the idea on which this multidisciplinary education is built. And this idea is not new. It has been in practice in US for a number of years. So in US, for example, what happens is a student takes admission to university without committing to any specialization. Like some students may know that, okay, I'm going to this university X because I'm interested in the subject Y. But that is not always the case. They take the admission without committing to a specialization, and they explore various things while they are there. And after 2 or 3 semesters, they decide, okay, I'm going to focus on one particular subject. So I will take many of the courses in that subject area, and then few other courses from other areas. But that happens after 2 or 3 semesters. And so that focus area subject we call as major, and then other subjects will be the additional papers. US also gives this option to keep studying different subjects parallelly, and it's called liberal arts approach. And they can graduate without a major, getting enough credits to different courses. Now, why we need a multidisciplinary education? We live in a world where knowledge of one subject is not enough. Students going to the real world do require a lot of different ideas to in trade taught to them so that they can function effectively. For example, nowadays there are many jobs which don't require any subject specialization. Earlier, commerce courses were designed to serve jobs like banking, but now with this Excel and with the banking software, you don't really require a commerce background to do a job in bank. Many science graduates or arts graduates also do a job in bank. So banking or government service or running a business, entertainment industry, you can name a number of fields which don't require a specific subject specialization. And the bigger problem for us is in the most Indian students when they finish class 12th, they're actually unaware of their strengths and weaknesses. What exactly they would like to do and why they would like to do that, which subject they're good at. They don't know. So we should, this multidisciplinary education gives them chance to explore these many options and then choose a path with open eyes. Now, using multidisciplinary skill set is also helpful in jobs which require specific skill, subject knowledge. So, for example, if I am doing the Prakash mentioned that I do India, but if I really have to do well in that, I just I have to know astronomy, but I have to also know programming, history, archaeology, linguistics. If I and I have to bring all that knowledge, combine it together when I'm looking at new things in history of astronomy. Or if you become a pharmaceutical executive, you have to know about infections, but you have to also know how drugs are manufactured. So you have to know inorganic chemistry. You have to understand how drugs are tested. So statistics, and then you have to know marketing, how to run a business. To become government officer and are posted in some district, you should know biosciences because you will be dealing with your public health, you will be dealing with animal husbandry, you will be dealing with agriculture. You have to also understand some basics of economics and business. You have to understand education because you are the sole representative of government in, or you're the top representative of government in that district. If you want to really become a really good teacher, not just you need to have subject knowledge, but you should understand pedagogy, should understand psychology of learners. So being a physics teacher, you cannot say that, okay, I don't care about psychology of teachers, I just know physics and that is enough. That never works. Then you will not be a good teacher. So this I have copied from NEP document itself. So NEP document invokes our history and says India has this long tradition of holistic and multidisciplinary learning. They mentioned this 16 vidyas and 64 kalas, and people used to be expert in more than one things. So they also say that, see, undergraduate, in undergraduate education you can integrate humanities and arts with STEM, then that leads to positive learning outcomes. And what learning outcomes they're looking at? They're looking at increased creativity, innovation, critical thinking, problem solving, teamwork, communication, social awareness. So most of these things you would be aware of. But critical thinking is some buzzword everybody uses, but is hardly explained. So I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes on addressing what is exactly critical thinking. But before that, also a holistic, this is again from NEP document, holistic and multidisciplinary education aims to develop human capacities in intellectual, aesthetic, social, physical, emotional, and moral ways. Lots of big words. We don't have to really worry about exactly what all of that is. But coming back to critical thinking, so critical thinking, if you boil down what many people have written about this, it comes to critical thinking is just ability to observe your surroundings, analyze what you are observing, conceptualize or hypothesize that is what is the cause of the things which you are observing, develop a reason, reflect on it, synthesize your theory with the observations, and once you have a concrete theory, you communicate with others. This is what you have figured out. And I strongly believe that critical thinking should be our guide to all our beliefs and actions. India, in fact, has a long tradition of critical thinking. Like people don't know much about somebody called Ajit Keshkambali. This is a thinker from the Ashokan period, or probably even before that. Exactly, his exact period is not known, but many people refer to him. And like he can be attributed as India's first rational thinker, critical thinker. Uh, and he gives philosophy something like anything that cannot be experienced does not exist. So he was firm believer in actually observing everything to prove its existence. Similarly, we have Charavak school of philosophy or Lokayat school of philosophy, which also uh, propagates critical thinking. And now, if you you want to simplify it further, what is critical thinking? We can say critical thinking is nothing but evidence-based reasoning. I just mentioned this: observe, analyze, conceptualize, reason, reflect, synthesize, communicate. All that can be just said. It is evidence-based reasoning. Look at the evidence, develop your reasoning based on that. So what I mean by that, if you take rationality, rationality, the word means encourage the use of reason and logic and reject superstitions. Empiricism, that is, claims and hypotheses should be tested through observation. Uh, this is exactly what Ajit Keshkapli also mentioned. Uh, Skepticism, that is, questioning claims and demanding evidence before acceptance. Open-mindedness, willing to consider and evaluate different viewpoints and new evidence, even if they challenge existing beliefs. Objectivity, that is, aiming to minimize personal biases and emotions that may influence scientific process. Hypothesis testing process, subject every hypothesis to an empirical scrutiny and using the results to define and reject hypothesis. And we should be we should adopt a progressive and cumulative knowledge gathering strategy where we build on the previous discoveries and evolve as new evidence emerges. And at this point, I will just mention these four people. In recent years, they are the martyrs for rational thinking. They were murdered because they were telling people not to believe in superstitions and develop critical thinking, develop evidence-based reasoning. Does anyone in the audience know who they are? You can unmute and say it.
Yeah, first ladies, Gauri Shankar, I believe.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
And
Your name?
Bipul Kakkar from Department of Mathematics, Central University of Rajasthan.
Okay. This is Gauri Lankesh. Yes, you're right.
Gauri
It's
Lankesh.
Gauri
Yes.
Lankesh.
Gauri. Yes.
Anybody
And
else knows any other face?
Narendra Davolkar.
Sir, your name?
Zamir here.
Hmm?
Zamir.
Hi. Yeah. So you're
Hi.
right. The last picture, the right side is Narendra Davolkar, and the middle two, the second picture is M.M. Kalburgi, and third one is Comrade Govind Pansare. And all these four were murdered between 2013 and 2018 for their propagation of rationalist thinking or critical thinking. So, Dr. Dabholkar, the last one, if you don't know about him, he did a lot of anti-superstition work in rural areas of Maharashtra. And he used to talk to the people in rural areas in really simple language. So in one of his speeches, he gave a very simple definition of what is evidence-based reasoning or what is critical thinking, what is rational thinking. He just said, "Jitna sabut, utna yakin." That is, more the evidence, more the trust. If you just follow that idea, then you're following the evidence-based reasoning. Okay, but rationalist thinking is not our major focus today. We come back to the multidisciplinary education. So prevalent UG programs, many of you would be UG teachers in arts, science, commerce colleges. And typically what we have is after class 12, students come to you, they spend 6 semesters, they go out with a bachelor's degree. Then people with bachelor's degree apply for the master's course, which is like typically 4 semesters long. And at the end of 4 semesters, they go out again with master's degree. Some of you may be in engineering colleges. Their structure is slightly different. People enter after class 12, but they spend 8 semesters. And after 8 semesters, they get bachelor's degree. Again, people with bachelor's degree have to apply independently. And they spend 3 semesters typically, sometimes 4 semesters. And they get master's degree. And these two models roughly cover most of the educational programs in our current setup. The new UG program, which is being proposed under NEP, so first thing they want is there should be same structure across disciplines. So right now we have these two things, some 3-year bachelor degrees, some 4-year bachelor degrees. That should go away. There should be overarching structure. The basic skeleton should be same across disciplines. Then they're saying there should be possible entry and exit every year. Students can decide to exit. I say after a couple of years, I decide, okay, I have some family constraints. I don't want to continue my education. Yes, they should be able to exit. They don't have to necessarily, they shouldn't be forced to complete the 3rd year or 4th year to get something out of the 2 years which they have spent. And then after a couple of years, if I decide, oh, I had to leave my education for 2 years back because of family constraints, but now the constraints no longer apply, I want to continue my education. They should be able to enter again. And so that's such that the total duration of the program can be extended up to 7 years. So students should be able to take break in studies, maximum 3 years break, and change institutions at the intermediate stage if they want, seamlessly as far as possible. Take courses from other institutions or approved online portals. All this should be allowed by all education institutions. So in the new structure, the same structure which they want across all disciplines, a regular semester will have about 15 to 16 working weeks, which include your final exams, your first week, admissions week, and everything together. So typically you will have 12 to 13 teaching weeks, and then 2 or 3 other weeks. Sometimes on your teaching day, there may be a holiday or something like that. So total 16-week semester, out of which 3 weeks you can discount, and 12 to 13 weeks of teaching. So you can easily do that. For example, there can be one semester from June 15 to October 31. Then you can give 15 days break, and then November 15 to March 31, there can be a second semester, which is very similar to the timetable which we typically follow at present. In addition, what is being proposed is there should be a summer semester, which will be between say March 30, April 1 to June 15. And in summer semester, although it is not mandatory, but if your college has lots of students which require which fail courses in the regular semester, then in the summer they can repeat those courses and try to cover whatever they have missed during the regular semesters. Now, there is a lot of talk about credit, how the credit system works. Typically, if you are teaching a course which takes 1 lecture hour per week for 1 entire semester, then that is worth 1 credit point. So if you have weekly 3 hours of lectures, then it is 3 credit point, and so on. If instead of lecture, if you do tutorial for 1 hour, that is also equivalent to 1 credit. For practicals, 2 hours of practicals per week is equivalent to 1 credit. So because practical, the teaching component is less, so the time is double. With that understanding, it is expected that students should register for typically 20 credits per semester. So they would be learning for 20 class hours or maybe up to 25 hours, including practicals. Courses can be 1 to 4 credit courses as per the allotted time. The NEP document also allows you to do short burst courses or half semester courses. So sometimes, for example, IITs or ISS do this, that suppose you want to do a specialized course and there is no person in your institute to teach that course. Say a course on astronomy. Some IIT wants to teach students astronomy course, but there is no astronomer in that IIT. So what they will do, they will invite somebody to come and stay in the IIT for 2 weeks or 4 weeks. And within that 4 weeks, the person teaches 12 hours, then it is a 1 credit course. If the person covers 24 hours, it is a 2 credit course. So those kind of short burst courses or half semester courses are also allowed. It is up to each institution if they want to do this or don't want to do it. But the system allows you to do this. Now, I mentioned that students should be able to stop their education wherever they want and restart wherever they want. So if they accumulate 40 credits over in their bachelor's program, remember it is 20 credits per semester is what is generally expected. So 40 credits will be 2 semesters. So if they complete 40 credits and then they do also some vocational training during summer worth 4 credits, then they can exit the program and they will get a certificate. If they complete 80 credits, that is roughly equivalent to 2 years, then they will get a diploma and take an exit. If they complete 120 credits, that is 3 years, they can exit with a bachelor's degree. And 160 credits, that is worth 4 years, they can get bachelor's degree with honors. You can also offer bachelor's with honors using the research component, but it should be offered only to a few students, not to everybody. If they complete 200 credits, that is worth 5 years, they can get master's degree. So the structure looks like this. Students do enter in class 12th like before. They spend 2 semesters, do 20 credits per semester. Now they want to stop. So you offer them some vocational summer training worth 4 credits and they exit with a certificate. If they don't want to stop, to follow the orange arrow, they can go to next 2 semesters, semester 3 and semester 4. And then like our current system, then if you keep following orange arrows, after 3 and 4, they can go to 5 and 6, then 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. So instead of stopping at BSc, they can go all the way up to masters in one seamless course. But at every year, there is a exit option, that is green arrows. So after first year, exit option is called certificate. Second year, it is diploma. Third year, green arrow is bachelor. Fourth year, it is bachelor with honors. Fifth year is masters. And every year, there is also entry option, which is yellow arrow. So certificate holders, even if they have taken break, they can directly enter the second year. Or diploma holders, after some break, they can directly enter the third year. And so on. Now, as I mentioned, US has this concept of major. Similarly, NEP also proposes a major minor system. So major is just your primary field of specialization. Right now, even we say BA in economics, BA in history, BSc in physics, BSc in microbiology, and so on. So we anyway have this idea of major. So in most places, there are some universities in India, or I know, where they don't do this major. People just do BSc and in general science, and even in third year they have 3 subjects. So those courses also exist. So, but most places in India, they anyway have this idea of major. So major is a primary field of specialization, and out of this 20 credits per year over BSc honors, you get 160 credits. Out of that, 50% of the credits will be from your major discipline courses. Major discipline core courses, I will come to what is meant by that. Then, in addition to major, you can say, I want to do a minor. That is my secondary specialization. So secondary specialization, along with physics major, I can do a maths minor, but I can also do economics minor, or I can also do philosophy minor. Nobody stops me from doing that. So major and minor doesn't have to be from same discipline. Also, doing a minor is not mandatory. Some students may want to just focus on one major and not specialize in minor, not choose any minor. Some students may want to do that. Both options should be given to students. Or you can also give third option to some students, the liberal arts approach, which I already mentioned, that they can continue studying multiple subjects without declaring any major. So they may not have 50% of credits from any one discipline, but they will accumulate 160 credits in 4 years. They may get a general degree, BS, but without any major declared. So, given that variety, you can have different types of program under your education institution. One option is single major UG program. That is what is happening currently, typically. The students know that, okay, I want to do BSc in chemistry. So they do 50% of the credits from the major core courses, and then most of the other core courses are also around that area, and they don't care about any other subjects. Then their second option can be interdisciplinary UG program, where you need inputs from multiple core disciplines because of the nature of the program. So core credits will not be from one subject. So for example, if you declare there is a interdisciplinary bachelor's degree in bioinformatics, then the student has to get credits from biology, but student also has to get some credits from programming or logic. So then credits from both these disciplines will be counted towards your major credits. You cannot say that only biology part is major or only programming part is major. Together, they will constitute the major. Then third option is your multidisciplinary program, where programs are offering broad perspective without a single major. So you can say that I have a bachelor's program in life sciences. So you take some credits from botany, some credits from microbiology. Fine. No single department will offer 50% credits, but overall, as a multidisciplinary program, you will finish the number of required credits. So typically in this program, after taking admission, the student will be allowed to change their major after the first year. Or you can say that initially you take 2 or 3 subjects in the first year, and you will be allowed to choose the major till the end of first year, whichever way you want to. Or if your best students, if they have a CGPA of 7.5 or above after 6 semesters, then you can offer them honors with research option, and you can offer them research project in their 4th year. For others, there can be just a reading project, not a research project. This project or dissertation should commence in semester 7, and significant time of semester 8 should be devoted for this. Total 12 credit project would be necessary for honors degree. Possibly, although, the document just says 12 credit dissertation, doesn't give distribution or how it is divided, but it says you should start the work in semester 7 and significant time should be spent in semester 8. So maybe you can divide it as 4 credits in semester 7 and 8 credits in semester 8. That is up to you. You have that flexibility. Because if students are spending time in semester 7, we should give them some credit for it in semester 7 as well. Now, what are the types of the individual courses? As I kept mentioning, core courses. Core courses is for every discipline, your college, HEI. So for the purpose, let's say HEI stands for college. So your college may decide for if somebody wants to do a graduation in physics, then I deem that classical mechanics, optics, quantum mechanics, or those kind of things are my mandatory courses. For if somebody needs a graduation in physics, they have to do these courses and they have to pass this course. Somebody who wants to do graduation in mathematics, they have to have at least one course in analysis, one course in algebra, one course in number theory, whatever things you want to put as mandatory thing for each discipline. That is your discipline specific course. Then there is disciplinary or interdisciplinary minors. So for example, a disciplinary minor is within life science course. You are saying I'm doing minor in genetics. So genetics minor. So if you want that genetics minor to be mentioned on your degree, these 3 or 4 is what you who is doing minor economics should do at least these 4 courses. That becomes my interdisciplinary minor. Now, if no specific minor is selected, the credits may be used to take some multidisciplinary courses or some major courses. That is, I can do some additional courses in physics if I'm doing physics major. Then I already mentioned dissertation or project can be, there is second type of course. So your discipline specific core, minor core and project are together called the core courses. Then the second group, what we call as electives. Electives, again, they can be discipline specific electives. So for example, again, I'm using a lot of physics examples because my background is physics. But for example, in physics, basic quantum mechanics may be compulsory, but very advanced quantum mechanics, like quantum field theory, may not be compulsory for everybody. Many students may not want to study. Many students may want to focus more on the experimental side or on electronics or something like that. All right, no problem. So they can be discipline specific electives. Then the second type of electives, which are generic electives. Generic electives is a department offering course for other students of other departments. For example, physics department may say, oh, I know that many students from other departments are interested in knowing something about astronomy. So I can offer a course in astronomy for non-department students. Or earth science or geography department may say, offer a course generally about rocks and soils. Or political science department may offer types of government. Language departments may offer something like conversational Marathi for people in science department and so on. These can be generic electives. Then there are skill enhancement courses. Like this is learning a new vocational skill. For example, creative writing, social media marketing, or statistics with R. Again, they need not be from your own department. You can do it from some other department. You don't have to be in statistics department to take a course of how to use R, or you don't have to be a literature major to do a course on creative writing. These are just skill enhancement courses. This is the third type of course. Then fourth type is internship or apprenticeship or community outreach, which you have to do in summer. Students can do this skill enhancement credits and or internships in semester 3 and 5. So for full-time internships, 1 credit for every week's worth of work is what is proposed. Then there are value-added courses like constitutional values, financial literacy. No, these are not additional skills, but it is just enriching your life. And then ability enhancement course like learning another Indian language. Now, with so many different options, how to solve the time issue? So IITs have already long solved this scheduling problem of cross-departmental electives. Typically, what the problem will happen is, oh, I want to take one course in the other department, but that course's schedule conflicts with some core course in my department. So how do I solve the problem? So what IITs do, they group the courses like group 1, group 2, group N, and all departments are told that your core courses should always belong to group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, for example. Now, if you are offering electives for other departments, they should always be in group 5. And then if you are offering some other value-added courses, they should always be in group 6, and so on. Now, once you do that, you have to announce each course belongs to which group. Now, all courses in same group will have exactly same timetable. It is inconvenient for teachers. In principle, people will say that, oh, I cannot come early and all this. I know these complaints happen a lot. But if you want to run truly multidisciplinary educational institute, then you don't have choice. So then all group 1 courses will have first lecture on Monday. All group 2 courses will have some third lecture on Tuesday. Fine. So then students can then choose one course from each group without having to worry about timetable clash. So it makes life a lot easier for students. Now, if you look at UGC documents, this is how UGC proposes the credit should be distributed. So typically disciplinary core courses, there should be 4 credits per course. So each course will be like 4 lecture hours per week. And disciplinary electives, about again 4 credit course. Minor courses should be 4 credit courses. Generic electives should be 3 credit courses. Skill enhancement 3 credit. Language 3 credit. Internship 2 credits. Valuation 2 credits per course. In a 3-year undergraduate program, they are saying 60 credits from disciplinary core, up to at least 4 or up to 28 if you don't choose any minor. There can be disciplinary electives. Minor can be 24 credit. Generic electives 9 credit, skill enhancement 9 credit, internships 2 to 4 credit, validation 6 credit, and language 8 credits is what is being proposed. And together it becomes 120. Similarly, 4-year undergraduate program, you can have a distribution. These tables are available in UG, and I will also upload the slides later. So you don't have to copy down everything. You can. UGC also has a table suggesting how you will distribute this year by year. So they have said that in disciplinary core, you do 10 plus 10 in first year. There is 10 credits in first semester, 10 credits in the second semester. And then generic electives, you do 4 in first semester, 4 in second semester, and so on. An internship after first year in summer and after second year in summer, 2 credits each. Like this is what is being proposed by UGC. However, having worked with college teachers for many years, I see some practical problems in this. And the document, the NEP document itself gives a lot of flexibility for colleges to implement, have that different structure. So this is one sample structure. UGC is not mandating that it has to be this structure. So given based on my experience of how colleges schedule their timetables, this is a structure distribution suggested by me, which is like different from the distribution suggested by in the sample table. But it is allows students to take at least 2 subjects in the first year and decide the major at the end of first year, and it gives them enough balance of all the requisite core. So total number of credits in each group remain the same, but it is just rearranged to suit the overall needs of the college better. For assessment, UGC has suggested this structure. You will assign grade points 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and then less than 4 is fail. And later grades corresponding to that will be O, A plus A, B plus B, C, and P stands for pass, F for fail. AB is for absent. For non-credit courses, sometimes people want to attend a course but don't want to get credits for that. So you can just give a grade as satisfactory or not satisfactory. Because many of the jobs and places, minimum eligibility criteria require people to have a particular, say, first class, higher second class, and all those things. UGC has also mandated that if you want to assign B grade to anybody, they should have at least 50% of the absolute score, 50% absolute score. And if you want to assign B plus grade to anybody, so in a 100-mark course, they should have scored at least 55 for you to assign them a B plus grade. And for core course dissertations, UGC has said that at least half of your examiners should be the external to the HEI. That means you have to call people from other colleges as examiners and ask them to grade your papers. And similarly, you will have to go to other colleges to do grading for their students. Now, all this is up to when the student is studying in only one college. But we have said that students can take break, they can go somewhere and come back after a couple of years, so they can change the city. So UGC has also started something called National Academic Bank of Credits, NABC. So how that works is students and institute register all courses on this portal. And once registration is done, every course the student completes, the credits get deposited in this bank. And if student goes to another institute, he can use this bank to redeem credits in another institute. This numbers may be a bit old, but roughly at present, the total 2.43 crores ABC IDs created. 1650 institutes are already part of it. A state-wise distribution is shown, and total 2.2 million records have been created. So who will award credits to be deposited in ABC? Every HEI which is registered there can award credits to the students who are registered. Also, the registered recognized portals such as Swayam, NPTEL, VLab, they can also award credits. And every registered HEI will also have to recognize the credits which are deposited there. So it is like a currency which everybody has to honor. To what extent? Obviously, the student has to remain within limitations of the broad curriculum of their main institute. So if they have already taken 5 electives in their institute, they cannot claim another 6 selective from the NABC because they have already fulfilled the mandate maximum number of electives. They also, but within those students can take up to 50% and they don't have to do it in their institute. Now, obviously, that raises the question that suppose if some student comes and tells me that, oh, I have done this course X from another institute or some online portal, and I have credits for that in NABC. Now I want to recognize these credits. So how do I know that they have done it properly or not? So for that, UGC will prepare a model syllabus for all core courses, and any HEI or any course, anyone offering course online can do maximum 20% deviation in the course content. And number of core courses should be same for all HEIs. So through that, UGC hopes to achieve the course parity. So for example, if you want to learn a particular course that is not available in institution, like again, I'll give example of astronomy. There not many institutes have teach astronomy course, but I want to institution or web portal and deposit the credits in NABC. After you're done that, you can go back to your institute, tell them, okay, I have done one astronomy course where the credits are there in NABC, and I want you to redeem those credits. And so they should be included in my total count of credits. If you change residence or take a break in the middle of program, same thing. You deposit all your credits which you accumulated so far in NABC, and then go whenever you are restarting, your new institute can access those credits in NABC and redeem those credits which are deposited there. Or sometimes you may be unable to attend a course in your institute due to timetable clash. You can take the same course in some other institute or web portal, deposit those credits in NABC and redeem those. Or some famous teacher is teaching a particular course in another institution. You know that, okay, there is a course in mechanics which is there's a fantastic teacher in IIT. I'm sitting in Pune. What do I do? Oh, I can do this course online. And again, you take those credits to NABC and use them in my institute. So this is how the vision will be. And in long term, what UGC wants is in next 5 years, which looks very ambitious, but what is expected that all colleges, all higher education institutions should be multidisciplinary, being able to offer wide variety of subject choices. So one way of doing that, if your college doesn't have space to start new disciplines, you can form clusters. So if your college is a science college, but you have in your vicinity there is another arts college, you can form a cluster with such colleges, and you can say that okay, together we may be considered as one HEI, and we are together offering multidisciplinary education. So ideally, every student in every institution should get an option to choose from natural sciences, social sciences, humanities, commerce or business, law, engineering, pedagogy, all these things. So within each cluster, you should have institutions offering courses, and each higher education institution or cluster, where cluster will be together as a single institution. The student strength should be in thousands, right? This they want to achieve by 2040. They will categorize research all higher education institutions in three categories. One is called, so this is multidisciplinary. The primary job of the faculty is to do a lot of research. They will also have teaching programs, but they will be more recognized for their research. Then there are teaching intensive universities. These universities, there will be research, but they are mainly recognized for their teaching part. So again, this is example for example, state universities which typically function, their faculty knowledge, but mainly their mandate is teaching. And third group is autonomous degree granting colleges. They will be mostly doing undergraduate teaching, research may not be that much, and they will be slightly smaller than those universities. There is no concept of affiliated college to university. If you are a separate college, you are autonomous college, and you have to grant degrees. This is the law. If you are on the spectrum and you can slowly aspire to change from one group to other group, you are allowed to do that. So all the single stream higher education institutions should either expand or merge or close down. There are no deemed universities, no affiliated university, there is no affiliated college, nothing. And by 2030, government wants at least one higher education institution in every district of the country. The gross enrollment issue, that is, out of the 18-year-olds, typically the students in our first and program are the ones who are completing 18th year of their life. So out of the typical 18-year-olds, only 27% of them used to enroll for undergraduate program in 2018. Government wants this number to grow to at least 50%, so nearly double by 2035. At least half the students, half the 18-year-olds should aspire to go to college. Assessment methods, there can be multiple ways of assessment. The class test, assignments, classroom participation, term paper, summative exams, everything. But teachers should get autonomy on each teacher will decide how they want to evaluate their own course. It doesn't have to be same uniform policy for all courses in one institute. And the grades need not be rigidly linked to numerical score. Teachers can decide what numerical score should correspond to which grade. With that, I'm going to stop and take questions. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Professor Sule. It was a great talk where you clarified a lot of things, probably not always clear for a lot of teachers. So now we can take questions. Participants can unmute themselves and ask questions. Dr. Nayak.
Sir, we know that jack of all trades is master of none. So why we are going to introduce that at a time they can do two courses
Mr.
so that
Dr. Nayak,
they cannot gain or you can say they cannot excel in a particular subject.
see, so yeah, Mr. Dr. Nayak had a question. He was mentioning why we want to do jack of all trades and master of none kind of thing. So my answer to Dr. Nayak is there are two kinds of students. People who want to excel in a particular subject. Obviously, yes, you have to teach them enough things in the undergraduate program so that they can excel in that area, subject area. But if you actually take a broader look, then those kind of students are only 5% of your students, typically. If you take and remaining 95% students, they end up in careers which don't require a subject specialization. Even, I don't know, some of you may be science teachers, some of you may be engineering teachers. Engineering, for example, we teach a lot of things: mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, computer engineering, electronics engineering, all these things, and each of these have highly specialized courses related to that discipline. But at the end of that, 80% or 90% of the students who complete engineering, they either go and do MBA and then enter corporate world where they don't use the engineering knowledge, or they go in IT, which don't require these specialized courses which they have learned in mechanical engineering or electrical engineering. Same is true for other disciplines. So the thinking here is, yes, the 5% students who want to specialize in that subject area, let them have the option of continuing with single major. But why force other 95% to also follow the same model? Let them learn multiple things so that they can be better prepared for their life after the college. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So someone can to be narrowly focused as they want, right?
Yes, that is allowed. But
yeah.
Dr. Leena has a question in chat. Can you please explain? A course of 2 credits can have 100 marks and 6 topics. Okay, so there is, as in neither the ADP document nor the UGC guidelines have linked number of credits to marks or number of topics. It is linked to the time available for teaching. If you are saying it is a 2 credit course, over course of 1 semester, you will be teaching that course for roughly 25 hours and plus some hours spent in exam or presentations and so on. So maximum 30 hours is what you will spend in one whole semester. So in those 30 hours, if you want to teach 6 different topics, it depends on course. I may want to just do selected, say, important revolutions in world history, a course on that. I may talk about 6 different revolutions in the 2 credit course. That is fine. I'm just giving brief overview as a part of general elective. Or I may just focus on one topic. That is also up to me. So you have that flexibility. It depends on how you design course. And similarly, number of marks is again an artificial construct which we develop. In a sense, I can do the same test for 40 marks. I can redistribute the same test for 100 marks. It doesn't have, there is no physical difference, or there is no pedagogy difference between 40 mark test and 100 mark test. They're testing the same thing. So how many marks UGC doesn't care. How many topics UGC doesn't care. You as a teacher has to decide, are you giving justice to those 6 topics, or are you just doing a proper assessment of your students? Hope that answers the question.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Iram Maiti, under the present condition, provision for only degree awarding colleges by abolishing affiliate colleges will be difficult to implement, as this would require good faculty strength and infrastructure facilities. How the UGC will overcome this problem? Sir, it's a good question. Even I have that question in my own mind. In fact, when this was first proposed, NEP, we had sent a feedback in that we had mentioned this, that many of these proposals, they are good in ideal world, but practically they will be very difficult to implement, because in many states, the colleges are presently understaffed. And if we want to double the enrollment, then we obviously need a lot more teachers than what we presently have. So without that, this will be very, very difficult. But the government's present answer to that is that this is the ideal world where this is direction in which we should be moving. Maybe we are targeting 5 years. We may not reach there in 5 years. We may take 10 years, but the direction should be clear in our mind. If we say if this is not possible and not even try, nothing will happen. So how UGC will overcome this problem, I don't have good answer to that. We will have to just watch, as UGC will also learn from. Maybe they will issue some circulars which may not be practical. When they will learn from it, those mistakes, and they will modify their rules. This is all transition period. Mistakes are due to happen, and it will happen in any project. But maybe after 4 or 5 years, the system will stabilize in some model. Dr. Lina, you have raised your hand. You can unmute and ask. I want to ask, for 1 credit, actual hours of teaching is 12 hours and 3 hours for assessment. Yes, you're right. So, as I said, the documents say 1 hour per week, 1 teaching hour per week for 1 full semester is equal to 1 credit. And since the semester is typically start to end 15 to 16 weeks long, so together total it will be about 15 to 16 hours if all weeks are academic weeks. But typically at least last 1 week goes in the exam. First 1 week admissions and introductions and all those things, that 1 week is usually not very productive. And at least 1 week somewhere during semester, you will face holidays or some such thing. So that is why practically 12 hours to 13 hours is what you will get as a teaching time per credit. If you're ambitious, you can aim for 13 hours, but 12 hours, you should plan your courses for 12 hours. 1 credit course, 24 hours, 3 credit, 36 hours is what you should plan for. And then beyond that, you can any other academic activity which you do for the course, like students, if you assign presentations, and you spend one week or couple of 2-3 lectures for listening to presentations, that is also counted as the work for the course. So all that you have to account in that 1 semester. Kailash sir is asking 4 credit course, how to convert to 2 credit. So sir, 4 credit course, if you already have something in your college, then you can take a look at those topics and decide how you can divide it in 2 parallel things, such that it can be independently taught by 2 teachers. Usually, like, there are things, many times people have 2 different things. Again, going to a history example, suppose you are teaching a course on world revolutions. You may want to decouple, say, something about French Revolution is taught by one teacher, and the American Revolution is taught by another teacher, or some such thing. So it is up to you. You have flexibility, but So a 4 credit course means you were getting 4 teaching hours per week. A 2 credit course means you will get 2 teaching hours per week. How you want to divide is up to you. And that depends on exact nature of the course. I cannot say a general rule. Maybe I misunderstood your question. If you want to clarify more exactly what you want to ask, then maybe I can try to answer it better.
Thanks a lot, Aniket, for taking the time. It was a wonderful
Thank you.
session.